guess I'm not alone in seeing the whole issue of bringing people into the world as complicated. But one thing I would observe, and that is that for an awful lot of women that I've known in my life, pregnancy, in fact, is not communal, that they're profoundly alone, often abandoned by spouses or badly treated by spouses, and so they're not bringing, they don't have the potential to bring a child into even a nuclear family, let alone an extended family, or a zillion other reasons that are, sorry, my empathy for these folks is taking the best of me here, for 1,000 other reasons that they cannot speak to a community. So I'd just like to point out that the assumption of community may be more aspirational than actual. And then suddenly, when a woman is pregnant, it's a communal issue to the degree of senators and legislators who don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. They certainly know nothing about women and women's bodies and experiences and daily life circumstances. So I think we better get real about what people are dealing with. And at that point, I throw out my theology in a lot of ways, and I just look at what's right in front of me and ask myself the question, what is the most sensible and compassionate thing to do? And it never is the same.
Thank you, Mary. I think that's a great observation and call to action from all of us, that community doesn't exist uniformly, and there are some really, I think about the differences in my own experience between having a miscarriage and having a baby, and what you feel supported in, what you feel is public, all of those parts are just, and that's, I had many things working in my favor in both cases. So I think that's a great point. And that actually makes me, because I have the microphone, I'll circle back to Dawn's question and say that I think the two things that I hope, one is agency, which Gordon referred to. The other is specific. People created in God's image, part of God's family. So to think that there is like a template that applies to everyone feels counterproductive. All right. Do you want to?
Just one thing. Mary, I hope we don't have to throw out our theology in order to embrace the people and the issues surrounding all of this reproductive rights conversation. But as part of being a Reformed Church person, for me, is that our theology is big enough and strong enough to hold us. And that may be more aspirational on my part than realistic, but I just wanted to say.
We are nearing the end of our time together. I want to encourage any of you who identify issues or questions that you would like to have more attention paid, if there are other resources that you'd like, more discussions that you'd like to have. You see some faces of your elders, so feel free to engage any of us in conversation and pass along your questions, wonderings, and so on. Part 2 of our two-part series here is next week. I hate to say it out loud because as it's been a little fraught to get plans made and kept, next week we do hope to host the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood for Michigan to talk about the current reality for reproductive justice for women in our state and increasingly surrounding states. So I hope that you'll attend then as well. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
copies for those, oh, yeah, thank you. We did make more copies for those people who didn't get thing when you first came in. So if you didn't get anything, there are few more copies in the back.